I'm a little short, I'm sorry. They told me not to. They told me not to take the mic off. That's why I didn't want to do that. One thing I gotta say is, the reason I came back is for this reason right here. Us being Big Ten champs. I definitely wanted to come back and leave a legacy. I wanted to be left as a winner, a 4-year guy that gave my all to Hoosier Nation. Love you too. And that's why I came back, because of you guys. You guys have been so great to me, to our team. All 4 years I've been here, everything we went through, all the adversity we went through, you guys stuck behind us. And, I feel like we definitely appreciate that. Next, I definitely would like to thank God. I mean, He's blessed me in so many different ways. I've met so many outstanding people throughout my 4 years of college. So if it wasn't for Him, I feel like I wouldn't be in the position I'd be in. Next, I want to thank the coaches, man. They're a special bunch, and it's like what Coach Crean says. We've got basically all head coaches on our team. We've got Coach Buck, Coach Martin, Coach Judson. The smarts of them is just crazy. They see things that I don't even see out there, and I agree with them. And, we've got Coach Buck, who's, man, he can shoot it. Yeah, that's definitely true. He might be one of the best shooting coaches you've probably ever seen. You've got Coach Judson, who's the defensive specialist. I'm telling you, man, him playing at Illinois, he came up with a 39-9 for us, which is the field goal defensive percentage that we want to play at each game. We've got a high percentage of winning if we get that. Coach Martin, coming from the NBA, bringing his NBA smarts to our team, that's something great. So, all the coaches have been great for us, and, they've stuck behind us. And, Coach Crean, when I committed here my junior year, I remember sitting back in one of those rooms with my dad, and, my dad told Coach Crean, make sure you take care of my son. And I feel like Coach Crean has done that. And, it's definitely been a fun ride with Coach Crean. He's a special coach. He's done so many things for me, and, we've been through a lot. We have, but, the main thing is we stuck together through all the adversity, and I feel like that's what family does. And, he's a part of my family, I'm a part of his, and, I'm going to keep in touch with Coach Crean definitely for the rest of my life. Next, I want to thank my team right here, man. I feel like this has been the most fun year for me. You could probably think freshman year would be, a freshman coming in, but, it's kind of like what Max said. I feel like the way we're bonding right now, our connectivity is, off the charts, I feel like. And I feel like this year we can do special things. And it's crazy, man. I've fought with some of my players, man, they remember, but Troy Williams is one of them. Yeah. Troy Williams. I don't know where OG's at, but, that's what family does, man. We fight sometimes, and, we're family off the court. That's it. So, I just want to thank my team, for making this last year as special as it can be, and, hopefully we're not done. Next, I'd like to thank a very special lady. It's my girlfriend, Darian Barnett. Stand up. Stand up. Give him a wave. Give him a wave. Huh? Come up here. Come on. Hey. Yeah, she's been taking care of me a lot. You know, those late night massages. Definitely need those. No, but, you know, she's done a lot for me, and, you know, I thank her. And, you know, I love her. That's all I got to say. And, you know, I'd like to thank my family. You know, I feel like they're my biggest supporters. You know, my dad, Kevin Sr., Caleb Farrell, Kelsey Farrell, Chloe Farrell, Libby Farrell. You know, they're definitely my biggest supporters. You know, I can remember playing AAU Nationals in, where was that, Memphis? I think Memphis in 3rd grade, and we've got the pictures. We've got Kelsey and Chloe in Indiana Elite cheer uniforms, actually, and they're on the sidelines cheering for me, man. I can remember that to this day. They come to every away game. You know, my mom, with her being a doctor, it's kind of hard for her, so she tries to make it out as much as possible, but, you know, I know my dad has made it, I don't know what away game he's definitely missed. So, you know, I just wanna thank them, and, you know, even though they're my biggest supporters, they're my biggest critics too. I remember I had a bad shooting game, and my mom texted me, "You better get your butt in the gym." And, you know, I did exactly that, because you got to listen to your mama. Remember that. So, you know, I've had a very fun 4 years, and I feel like if I can never leave Indiana, I feel like I never would. You know, you guys make it so special for me. And, you know, I've just had a lot of memories, and this is something that nobody could ever take away from me. You know, me winning 2 Big Ten championships in 4 years. I think that just says a lot about, you know, the coaching staff and their belief in our team. Myself just sticking with everything through the ups and downs. But, you know, I feel like this is a special place in my heart, man, and, you know, I'm definitely never gonna forget it.